Hey guys, Brennan here. How's it going? We're gonna be doing the trial today. Probably just the first half, or maybe the whole thing. I'm not sure. Guess we'll find out. Let's check out our skills. Okay. Cool. Let's back out of that. And finish preparations. Let's do this. Trial all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Okay. Make your argument. Let's do this.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Oh no. Wow, it's been a hot minute since I played Danganronpa, so I kind of forgot how things worked. Yeah, never mind. That.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
Okay, what were the controls again? Jesus. I don't even remember. Aim is mouse, silence is right mouse button. Control is fast forward. Gotcha. Okay.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt? I bet it was an iron pipe. Interesting.
Oh, that's what I have to
That
contradict.
certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
Like Chihiro.
Okay.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a...
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt What kind of blunt instrument could it have? I bet it was an iron pipe. No, that's
Was
wrong.
not. Okay.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime?
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
I mean, yeah, it's an investigation of a murder. Aren't you supposed to look at the body?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is... the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there is a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the right mouse button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case, you can just forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, I'm gonna check the controls once more because I kind of glanced over them the last time and I don't remember if it said,
The culprit is...
if it said anything about how to slow it down. Concentrate is space, okay.
Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But
Yeah,
that's impossible.
We have to prove this
Why?
wrong.
What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
I think I have to prove
The
the
culprit
outcome
is
wrong.
Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it.
Okay. Guess not.
Shoot!
So I think we're running with the assumption that it is.
The culprit
that's
is
what
Genocide Jack.
I guess
I'm
that's
sure
what I
of
missed.
it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
There's no proof.
Why?
I have to prove that.
What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
There we go.
No,
Okay.
it's wrong.
The thing is I already know.
Might know one reason he could be involved.
I already know the case, so like I'm just trying to think about how it gets there. Because I've played the game before, I already know who the culprit is. I'm not gonna say it right now, obviously, in case somebody who hasn't played the game or seen the game before is somehow watching this video, which is like, hi. Well, it's cool that I'm your introduction to Danganronpa, but like, I would imagine that I wouldn't be for most people watching this video. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I already know the ins and outs of the case, kind of. It's just, I don't remember all the details and what you're supposed to do exactly, so it's more or less piecing together the case as I go in these videos, because I already know the outcomes. But yeah.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
Okay.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth, so let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case.
Two.
The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No, bloodlust, my friend.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
All the bodies are strung up, but they're done with. But that's
Never made
that's
public?
Prove that
What the hell is it?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of the every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know, is how the victim was positioned.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
Not exactly.
So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yeah.
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
He's just coming right out with it.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
What?
Just fucking, he's straight out with it. He doesn't care at all.
Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
This one.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It does seem like a riddle in a way, but I feel like I can just about see it. Genocide Jack is Toko, but isn't Toko. What does it mean? Please don't make me have to spell out the entirety of dissociative identity disorder. Whoa. Okay. I'm just pausing it for a second so the thing doesn't run out. I have no idea what this word would be. H-I in the middle. What? That's... 2 letters, H-I, and then another 2 letters. S. Okay. Oh. I think I know what it is now. Yeah. I wouldn't have used this word.
Now I understand.
Okay.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
I think... I don't know. I think there's a lot of other words that are similar length you could have put there instead of schizo, but whatever. That just doesn't sit 100% right with me, but whatever. It's eh.
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
I mean, yeah. The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality, it has to do with her behavior. Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
Okay.
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine. Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? Yeah. Just took a second to remember what exact voice I did, but whatever. She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top inning and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Yes. I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer. Drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in.
It was to keep her from getting out.
It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How? Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this?
It's, how could you tell them?
No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Yup.
Huh?
What a bastard.
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
I mean, truth.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
Aw, poor Toko.
Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
I'm sorry. I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry. Never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me.
What a bastard.
That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
Jeez.
I tried! I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
This is even...
I hate you!
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person?
Oh, he's gonna call Genocide Jack to the court.
You don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
What the heck?
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's That's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. But what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
She's so intense.
Like they say, sound and murderous mind, sound and murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know.
Okay.
Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane!
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
She's not.
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
No, of course not.
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid! And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
It's kind of not such a great way of looking at things.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
Okay.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack.
Yeah. Well, it would be.
If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all of this. Okay. Library, that's nice.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
Well,
You say
kind of,
that,
not
but
this
do
time.
you really
you did.
expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, that's wrong.
It does not, Torigami.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that.
What happened to the scissors, man?
I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Scissors.
Uh-oh, you don't know?
Well, none of them know anything because they haven't seen the file.
Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that, in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murders. The victim's fatal injury.
I got it!
Yeah.
For one, the cause of death is different.
Yep.
In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
Scissor.
According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Yep.
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
Why? What's so odd about that, Hagakure?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right, the second difference is related to how she was suspended. What was used to suspend her.
I got it!
Because it was also...
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
That's not rope, but we'll get to that.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them.
Scissor.
Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I use my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
I mean, yeah, it's right there in your name.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
They were boys.
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. There's a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. I think I figured it out. I know why she couldn't have killed Chihiro. Because Chihiro was a girl.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were male. Ken Harada, 32. Tetsuhiro Honda, 17. Shoji Gaku, 23. Kano Issei, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30. Komatsuna Taro, Takafume Gono, Uchida Naohia, Takeshi Masamune, Yuto Umejima. There was no end to it.
They were all guys?
Yep.
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl! And the movie side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
I mean, yeah.
I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That's an extremely good point.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. Still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
She's fully equipped!
I mean, why wouldn't she be?
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore! Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
I mean, yeah.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal, and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. The only other person who knows anything about them at all.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
When?
Looking back and thinking about it now,
The beginning of the investigation, pretty much.
the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
Yeah. And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
That can easily be dispelled by the fact of Chihiro's a girl.
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
We didn't even know Chihiro's dead yet, is the thing.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There was a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely, sure, why not? Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the left mouse button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck and have fun. Well yeah, this is a tutorial for the flashback. Obviously, it's going to force you to use it in this case. Hanakuma file now, yeah, that's not going to be helpful.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kinda weird before we found his body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
you absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
Not really.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So, of course, I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first.
There was no time. What's so strange about
You wish you'd taken me with you?
In Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realize there's a clear contradiction there. Yeah, I tried to do it, but I was...
So, you said Byakuya was acting kinda weird before we found his body. But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity,
that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
No, that's wrong.
Did it.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
Does not.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Not quite. Just proof that you would have been more inclined to go into the boys' locker room than the girls'. The differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there. What could it be? The fact that all of them are male? If he thought it was Genocide Jack, he would have gone to the male locker room.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again?
Okay. What was Celeste's account? I don't remember what that is. Okay, that's the thing about Chihiro.
When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
No.
Hey, Byakuya. Where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Okay, we gotta prove that wrong.
Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Library desk lamp. The proof that Byakuya did it is hidden within the rope. I guess it's possible, but first, the item she had been bound with was used like a rope, but wasn't actually a rope.
What? The difference between the case? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro it was some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong! Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before.
Uh-huh. You acting pretty sus, Byakuya.
Because, you see, that rope, or should I say...
Extension cord.
That extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
That's not super far-fetched at all. I don't know why you're acting so surprised.
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
What do you have to say for yourself, Byakuya?
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Not exactly. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
Okay.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
Not exactly.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait. What was that just now? Something's not right. Byakuya's remarks just now. There's something in there that concerns me. Scene of the crime.
I got it!
Yeah.
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
I love Byakuya. He's such a turd.
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene?
Yeah, I don't think he knows anything about this at all.
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up till now, Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey! Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
I'll get to that. Hold on.
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
The posters and the rugs. Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. I need to just focus on those things that got switched. Posters.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
Yeah.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I mean, yeah.
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
Yeah, no, that was totally in the boys' locker room the whole time.
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
Who are you to say, Makoto? Maybe people from Hope's Peak are just really into Tornado.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. It's the boys' locker room carpet now.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
Sure.
What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body.
Yep.
By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Is he gonna mention, like,
I highly doubt
the
that.
handbooks of the dead people?
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Did Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Okay. Yeah.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
Yeah, that's not the case.
She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
I clicked the wrong button. Dang it. I clicked the wrong mouse button. I hit it with the left when or with the right when I meant to hit it
I
with
don't
the
think
left.
Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because it was broken?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
Okay, Hagakure.
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one.
So, stealing from somebody or taking it, and then putting it back is allowed.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts glaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It's not wrong, though.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Hold up. Is that it, then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya is the one who did it? Really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second.
Yep,
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
I mean, technically, if borrowing a handbook is allowed, she could have taken someone who's... a handbook from somebody who's still alive and then just put it back and not be in trouble. But the thing is that most of us have our handbooks on us at all times, so that's not really possible, and yeah, but that is an explanation that could be used.
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Stealing... There's actually two, but the one that I presented isn't the case.
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Okay.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Saying this is gonna be impossible for a bunch of these people to understand. Showing it is a lot more convincing.
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Yeah, recess. Oh, I'm gonna go play on the swings.
For real? Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was... scene of crime.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands?
Yes.
No way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
I mean, kinda.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is...
A boy.
Is what?
Is a boy!
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
Chihiro was cross-dressing the whole time.
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Yup.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
I mean, of course you did. You're Monokuma.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
Yeah, shut up, Byakuya. You totally fucking... You didn't expect this at all.
This is a most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
I think this revelation kind of makes it seem like he's not, actually.
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
No.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
That is true.
But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Yeah.
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
I mean, yeah, Byakuya's smart. He wouldn't kill and then set up this elaborate crap that directly points to him. Like, that's not what he would do at all.
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you.
If he did kill him, then why was he surprised that the murder took place in the boys' locker room?
And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
Yep.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but... it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct, for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
I mean, yes, that's what he's been doing this entire time.
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
I mean, by setting up this entire fucking elaborate scheme and making this case take way longer than it probably would have, I would say he has been fucking with us this entire time.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
Let's have fun, you know.
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
Also, probably just to be a dick and reveal Toko's secret identity, even though he could have just told us in a way less elaborate way.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime was in the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have to have used their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Make your argument. Library doesn't have to experience during Celeste account. Okay.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing,
I
but
think it's Celeste.
did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Yeah.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over.
I don't know.
You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
Okay, there we go.
No, that's wrong.
Once again, I almost ruined myself by hitting the wrong button.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this.
Yeah, I'm the only one she told.
The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry.
He was meeting with somebody.
But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
Yep.
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Because you two were girls, and he was a guy.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Yep.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much.
Or at least enough to go and meet with them.
Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
I mean, I do. Makoto doesn't right now.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say. But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
No.
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse.
Yeah.
All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
What about the jacket?
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Maybe.
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. Okay.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was heading. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing!
Okay.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Hold up.
My tracksuit is black.
Shoot! First of all, we know where Chihiro was heading.
He was on his way, so next week, why did he choose?
What do you mean, the specific?
I got it! It matched the one the culprit.
So, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
No, that's wrong.
I'm just slightly unfamiliar with the PC
Hold on a second,
controls,
Mondo.
and
What did you just
I'm gonna
say?
blame that on everything. Every mistake I make in this video, I'm blaming it on the fact that I'm slightly unfamiliar with how the keyboard controls and PC stuff is. Totally.
Huh? What'd I say?
Shortcomings as a person.
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said,
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then I assume he headed off to exercise.
she never said anything about the jacket's color.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
Fucking Kyoko. Just... wow.
What are you? You just... Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
It was blue.
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
It's not looking good for you.
But because I just... I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit
Was because he saw Chihiro before Chihiro died.
is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
I mean, she seems to be the type of person who just gives nicknames to everybody, so we're just gonna have to roll with it.
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night.
Oh.
He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
The jacket got stuffed into the duffel bag. She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
I completely forgot about this because that's such a, because it was laid as a trap, and it was a detail I completely forgot about in this trial, but that's really cool.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit.
Yep.
That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
He said a few things that were
That's
off.
a good question.
The way he was acting, I guess? No.
There was a certain turning point. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men
Oh,
and
the way
women
he talked,
differently.
yes, yeah. I literally said that just before I clicked the option that he was speaking a little weirdly about Chihiro, and then immediately clicked the opposite. Okay, I'm so stupid.
You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice such a tiny detail?
I didn't notice any of that. I just thought he was like acting kind of strangely during the trial previous to this.
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Oh, jeez.
Mondo, was it really you?
Not a chance.
Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
I don't really think so. I think we're right on it.
My time has nearly come.
Okay, what detail are you trying to present, sir?
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Show it anyway.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
What do you have there?
It's an e-handbook.
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... I guess it's Chihiro's?
A gun!
Yeah. That...
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
It's broken, isn't it?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
I mean, kind of, but also the fact that it was probably done to conceal the secret more than anything else.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
They aren't, but they have a weakness.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible explanation. By hitting its weak point.
A gun! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
Yes?
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
Well, we can deduce it.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
He's not gonna tell us.
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
I mean, true.
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Yep. Heat.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, he found that on the ground in the sauna.
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Well, they found out because they were the only person stupid enough to wear their fucking clothes inside of a sauna.
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
But I do.
I might know someone who did.
Yep.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Oh, Orochimaru, man. He might have brought their handbook into the sauna. Really, it could have only been one person.
Here's my answer! Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Because he's guilty.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
He would never kill. But he's in a gang. I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay, broken handbook.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, If Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Even I don't want to believe Mondo might actually have killed someone. But I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if then that proves that—
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Oh.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Having such a low focus gauge at the beginning of the game is not
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if then that proves—
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See?
Okay.
Look! Makoto was wrong after all!
You're wrong.
Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Imagine what I'm trying to do turns out to be wrong.
What he said, you broke your own handbook.
In other
That'd be some
words,
fun time.
if Mondo's then that proves—
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Okay, there we go.
No, that's wrong. Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's. Which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
No, we've been over this.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting.
Yeah, sure.
As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Okay.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch! What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Okay. That's the handbook. Which locker room did Chihiro go into? I think that's where this one goes. locker room did the killer move to? I forget that this one is scrolled. The killer took something from the other locker room and switched it at the scene of the crime. What was it that Yaki brought to the murder scene? It could have only been the extension cord. Disguise. The message, right? Yeah. Okay. This one is, where did the killer go after they were done? This. I don't know if that's like the only sauna one. Handbook got thrown in the sauna room. What happened to it? I think that's this, right? This is that. Okay. And I think I gotta switch this one with that. Which locker room did Chihiro go into? That's the boys. And this is duffel bag and...
The killer is you!
Okay.
First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Those two are so similar that it's like hard to tell which one is supposed to be right.
Here's
Apparently
exactly
I had it
what
right
happened.
the first time.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed...
Yeah.
She made her way to the locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple. Because she was really a he. Which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet, then removing the bloody poster, and finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course.
They'd probably just use Sayaka's.
But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl.
Junko's.
After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no.
Byakuya had to be a dick.
Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
This can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah, where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
Oh, what was the entire point of this trial, my guy? Evidence that Mondo is the killer that already revealed itself earlier in the trial. All I have to do is check that one item of his, and everything will become clear. New element has been added to bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Let's talk a bit about fever time and nega time. During a bullet time battle, if you press the space key, fever time will activate, and the tempo will be forced to its maximum. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push right mouse button, left mouse button, right mouse button, left mouse button, however you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. ... But this only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if only you got to access special time, right? So we've also prepared something called nega time that your opponent can use. If the opponent activates nega time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. If you were to activate fever time at this point... Nah, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Unsurprisingly, if your action difficulty is set to gentle, the opponent won't use nega time. Well then, good luck and have fun.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. You're corrupt. I refuse to vote. I refute you. False. You're corrupt. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. Show me some evidence.
This should prove it. If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
I'm honestly surprised that there was no break in the middle of that, because this video is coming up on like 2 hours now. But there was no break, so I didn't feel like there was any natural stopping point.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Copyright claim incoming.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Okay.
What?
Uh-oh. This time it looks like you got it right again! Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was... Mondo Owada!
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful.
I refuse to believe it. There's no way. No way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Well, why are you apologizing? Why? 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 Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually,
the story of murder this time is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't want to hear it, you can hit the control key to fast forward the text. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about, even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak, 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 weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. Which, of course, included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I don't really want to talk about it right now. But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action, and so... That day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it. Damn.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be a good idea to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Yup, it sure was! The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret.
Uh-huh.
Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will give me some courage. That's not Chihiro saying that, that's Monokuma. That's false. so he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did to keep the promise he made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did? You mean, that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think that was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro.
But
how does moving the body keep his secret?
Because
if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity. So, he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then, Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed?
Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you?
Because, no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone.
You're wrong!
It's impossible!
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother! Got him. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother's name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust, or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang, and before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, number 1 in the gang, and his number 2, his younger brother, Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul.
The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang. Which is why...
I
gotta get stronger. Stronger than Daya. Once. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly... laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. I fucked up. Sorry. Of course, he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Hey, kid. The rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. 'Cause it's the team, you and me, put together. It's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang, in order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother. He could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that caused the accident, and as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who'd bested his big brother. Daya was gonna lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother.
I'm
strong. Strong, 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 strong. And yet, as soon as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the lovely, the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why. Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness, and my head just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before. I didn't even know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety, way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And
And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Huh? 'Cause, I mean, you've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying
what?
If I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret.
Huh?
Huh? I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I had never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What? What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you fucking with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Monto. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn you!
Why did you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
I just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong, 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 strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch.
And stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey! I killed him.
I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Monta. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it! Look at him, you see? You're all just like him! For a secret from the past, for a memory. For that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? 'Cause I sure don't. You bastard. Just shut up, you son of a bitch! Go ahead! Say that again, I dare you!
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but... Unfortunately, I can't do that right now, because the time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
You mean execution?
Well now.
That's what I promised you, right? That the blackened that disturbs the peace will be punished!
Ridiculous!
Hold on!
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
He says it. Never mind. For Mondo Iwata, the ultimate biker gang leader. No, wait!
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Yay! Ha ha! Ha! I love that clapping clips my microphone. That's really great. I said, wait!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Damn. Oh, copyright claims. Oh my gosh. Mondo butter. Jeez. Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be. My brother. Another murder and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But he, of course, had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game. Byakuya?
What is this?
You're completely insane, you know that? Game? One of our friends is dead, do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do, because this game is life or death.
Hey.
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response, except that...
However...
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored the nighttime rule too? That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse. What? You mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well...
So you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed.
But if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. You did all that to liven things up?
I see.
So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene.
But
damn, man. If we hadn't figured out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right? No, I would have just told you, fucks, that, Mondo did it because I mentioned the fact that I saw him. Well, obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course. Byakuya turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did. And I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I do decide to become blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for.
Correct.
So that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, we're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
Oh, I'm up next.
You
like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? Do you like them? But, you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself!
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I am not over-exaggerating! These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair!
Damn.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Mean? Mean?
What the heck?
Mean.
Damn it!
Good grief! I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing! Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me.
Ooh,
the noble son of a noble family! Truly, you understand me! I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship!
That's enough.
Shut up. I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you and kill you, understand?
In the name of my family.
In the name of the Togami family, for which victory is a foregone conclusion.
You're getting all riled up!
Ooh, so cool! It's like you're the main character of a video game or something! No trash mob for you! I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Yeah! Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom, and the curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now, so just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
There's one thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away!
Who is it? The 16th high school student, I mean.
Ooh. My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
Oh. Chapter 2, Boy's Life of Despair. The end. 10 surviving students. Yeah, to be continued. Oh, that was such a long video. I honestly expected that trial to have a break, like, in the middle of it. But nope, we just have a two-hour long video. That's fine. You received the Crazy Diamond present. Would you like to save the data? Yeah, I would, but I'm gonna do that after I end the recording, because it'll start the next chapter immediately, and I don't want that being in this video. So, peace out, guys. I will see you next time. Bye!